Hello and welcome back to another episode of my MotoGP 20 career mode. And today, obviously, the first thing we are going to do is have a look at the R&D. Obviously, we've got nothing going on at the minute in terms of upgrades, so I think what I'll go for, I think I'll put the last anti-wheelie upgrade on, so that'll be the electronics sorted. We'll add all the staff on there, which will take us to 4 weeks. It'll take 4 weeks to do that. So then we'll advance forward 1 week. Obviously, there's nothing else for us to do. So now we've got a notification on the technical staff. I'm guessing it'll be Isabella Ferreira applying for the job once again. An A+, this one. Quite poor on the engine, so I'm guessing you're never going to get one that's overall the best, you know, on everything. But we're really getting some decent people applying now. And like I said before, I'll definitely have to have a look at some of these. Obviously, they're all pretty poor on the engine, to be honest. Whether that's because the chief engineer is supposed to be better on the engine. So obviously on here, his engine's not great. So actually it doesn't seem like the people are particularly very good on the engine once you get further up through the ranks. So then I'll head into Sachsenring now and I will see you in free practice. So we're here then in free practice and it is actually raining, which is very interesting. So I'm not sure whether to do the practice programs in one of these first two sessions or wait and do them in the third session, because I'm going to have to do some laps in the third session anyway, so that I get through into Q2. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do all the practice programs in free practice 3 instead of free practice 1. So I'll see you there. So we're here then now in free practice 3 and we have got a dry session. It's cloudy actually, but it's still dry. So the first thing to do is the distance analysis. So we'll start that straight away. And hopefully we get perfect once again. So coming out the last corner then to finish the distance analysis. Are we going to beat the time? Yes, we are, by just a second there on the last lap. And I was really struggling to actually get the bike to go around the circuit. The left hand side of the tyre was extremely worn out by the end of that. We can actually have a look at the consumption check on this medium rear. You can see it's already on 61% on the left and 79% in the middle. So we're definitely going to have to go a hard tyre in this race because it's even cloudy and that's how much we're losing just on the edge grip. So the next development test to do is the race simulation, of course, which has got a hard tyre on, so we'll be able to get a bit of an idea of how it's going to behave in the race. So we'll head out and we'll do that one now. So I have no idea what's just happened. The reason why I wasn't recording was I came to the end of the third lap in the race simulation, and it's just brought me back into the pits and just ended it. But I didn't invalidate any of my laps, so it's not like I couldn't get 5. In fact, it was the end of my 4th lap, so I don't know why. I had another lap to go, and it's just stolen, well, about 50 research data, well, 100 research data actually almost off me there, which is a bit annoying, but I'm not going to go and do 5 valid laps now. But I really don't know what that's about, and why have I now got fresh tyres on again? So strange. I have no idea what just happened there. Probably another glitch in the game, unsurprisingly. So then, the next thing to do is the quick lap simulation. We've got to do a 22.8 on a set of soft softs, so hopefully we can do that. So we'll head out with those tyres and fuel, and hopefully it doesn't end me before I finish the lap or something. So we're coming towards the line then. Are we going to beat the time? Yes, we are. So we completed that development test as well now, the quick lap simulation. So we're ready for qualifying. Went quite a bit quicker than we had before, so that should put us at the top of the session now. So we'll head into qualifying. Well, we'll end this session and head into qualifying. Hopefully we can try and get pole position here at this track. So we were fastest at the end of that free practice session, 3/10 ahead of Baldassari in second. Marini's down in 8th place, so he's definitely falling out of contention if he doesn't up his game a little bit in this episode, because obviously he had a really good episode, well, a good couple of races a couple of episodes ago, and even at the end of the previous one. But last time he was awful, and Baldassari wasn't great last time either. Obviously he was alright at Mugello, but at Catalunya he was dreadful, so they are losing a lot of points, so they're definitely going to want to fight back a little bit here. But I want to maximise my points because I'm expecting to struggle quite a bit at Kimi Ring again. I don't think I'll be able to magic out a victory this time in Moto 2. Obviously in Moto 3 I had so much pace that I could still pull something together by just getting a good start and getting ahead of them. But I don't think that's going to happen this year, so I'm definitely going to try and get a big buffer going into Kimi Ring in case I lose a lot of points. So we're here now in qualifying, and obviously it is a tad different because it is actually sunny rather than cloudy, which means the tyres will wear even quicker. So we'll head out and hopefully we don't crash or anything like that, and it's a little bit of a less eventful qualifying session. Ooh, bit of a wheelie coming up towards the line. But from what I can tell from the practice sessions, the AI are very fast in the first 2 sectors of the lap. And then Sector 3, we're pretty even, if not I'm slightly faster, and then I pull everything they gain in the first 2 sectors back in 4, so it's actually very, very close lap time wise. That's what it seems like anyway, because I'm sure I was about 7/10ths down on one of the laps in practice in Sector 3, brings it back, and I was about half a tenth off in Sector 4 then at the end of the lap, and then another time I was half a second off in Sector 3 and ended up going fastest by the end of the lap. Only by about half a tenth again, so it seems like I end up about half a tenth either in front or behind them. So through turn 7, probably one of the better first and second sectors we've done. Yeah, I'm actually going slightly faster. They're not too fast in Sector 2, they're pretty quick. But I think if, like I said, if I actually had done it properly, I probably would have done a bit better. This is definitely the best we've done so far on the edge grip. I've been struggling so much the entire weekend on the edge grip. We're now half a second underneath. So Sector 3 actually I am a bit quicker, it seems. Everything I said has kind of fell apart, hasn't it, on this lap as we go a little bit wide, a little bit onto the green. Now luckily we don't lose the lap for that on this corner cutting setting. Through the Queckenberg corner then, out of Queckenberg, coming up towards the line then. What's the lap time going to be? 1:21.9. Wow. Yeah, that is so much better than anything we've done before. I think it was just the cloudy weather making it so I couldn't get the heat through the edge of the tyre. It was just spinning. I think that's what was wearing it out. So Navarro's has come out right in front of us going really slow. But we'll head back to the pits now, and hopefully that's good enough for pole, because that is so much faster than anything we've done. So then that was good enough for pole position then here at Sachsenring. We've got 7/10ths ahead of Lorenzo Dalla Porta in second, so it's almost a bit like Baldassarri's gap in Catalonia. But Marini down in 6th, Baldassarri in 3rd. Those are the 2 guys we're really looking for, although Luthi isn't totally out of it, neither is Navarro, so we've got to watch out for those guys as well. So we're actually down here on the grid then now, and I'm not sure whether to go with a soft front or a medium front, because the soft front felt fine, but then I feel like the front actually might wear here because of the sort of how much you're on the left hand side of the tyre, and obviously if the front goes, I'm really done. I can't even push into the corners at all, so I'm a bit debating what tyre to go on. I'll have a look at the wear rates then. So that medium was quite worn, but then the softs after a couple laps, I think they're alright actually. I'll go with the soft tyres, and if that ends up destroying me, then so be it. But I can look after the front a little bit more than I can look after the rear, I think. So yeah, without further ado, we will start the race, and hopefully we can try and bring home another victory here. I feel like Marini might actually come through this time, because you can see him in 6th place there. And I think that obviously at tracks where the tyre wear is important, he seems to be pretty fast. So lights on away we go. We've had the wheelie once again, massive wheelie, trying to get the front end down. Dalla Porta gets past us, but once again in the second phase of the start, we get back in front. It's so strange. I'm not sure why they are so slow. They're very fast off the line, but then as you go up the gears, they are so slow. I don't know if it's whether it's programmed to be like that because the AI get really good starts. I don't know, but I prefer it, to be honest, if they just, you know, got better starts than me, and I'd have to practice my starts a little bit more. But I don't need to at this point, because if I did, it'd be even more unfair. So we're in the lead. Baldassarri back up to second. So Baldassarri meaning business in this championship. We just lost the rear. It's going to be a while before I get the heat into the tyre. I can't get the power down. Here comes Baldassarri at the inside through this left-hand at turn 7. I'm trying to hang it around the outside of turn 7. Baldassarri side by side. Luthi's just behind us as well as we go into turn 8. Am I going to sweep it round in front of him? Yes, I am. So I keep the lead for now. But struggling to get that power down. That really did affect me for a little bit there. So Baldassarri actually took the lead for a very short amount of time there, so we flicked the bike right through turn 11, down the waterfall, coming towards the penultimate turn. So we're 2/10ths ahead of Baldassarri now, so not as much as I would like to have gained in sector 3 there. Through Saxon Curve then, out of Saxon Curve, up towards Queckenberg. Obviously we know they lose a big amount of time here, it seems. I think it's just because they used to have that bug where they crashed on the inside curb, so the AI probably just aren't very optimised for that last sector, because obviously they had to do something to fix it. So I'm guessing they maybe changed their line and they're now not very optimised for that line or something. I assume that's what it is. So as we come up towards the line then at the end of the second lap, what's the gap? 9/10ths of a second, so we've got almost a second over Baldassarri in second. Luthi 3rd, Marini's in 4th, so our 2 rivals have definitely stepped up their game in this one. So coming up towards the line at the end of lap 3 then, Marini's just moved up into 3rd place, 22.4, so that's a very fast lap. It's quicker than what the AI did in qualifying. I think we're 1.9 seconds in front now. I did a much better lap that time. So coming to the end of the 4th lap then, 22.5 on this lap. What is the gap now? 3.4. Wow, we are really getting away. Marini's now moved up to second, so it seems like Baldassarri's actually dropped pace. I think that's what it was, because I did a slower lap, but I gained like 1.5 seconds on that lap. So Marini's 3.5 behind now, so Marini, can he catch us up? I don't think he'll be able to. So starting the penultimate lap then, 22.2, so a new fastest lap to me, but I think Marini did a pretty similar lap to that. He's 4 seconds behind now actually, so I think we've got this one in the bag. So as we're starting the final lap then, Marini actually took quite a big chunk out of us throughout that lap, but I'm guessing we pulled it back. No, Marini took the fastest lap, 22.1! That's so much faster than anything that AI has done the entire weekend. He's 3.7 behind. But wow, Marini stepping up at the end, but it's just a little too late. So coming into the last corner then here at Sachsenring, we are going to win, but Marini really was coming at the end there. If we look behind us, we can't actually quite see him, but we're going to win here. 23.0 on the last lap, but he was really catching us. So yeah, he caught us up by a massive amount. He brought it down from 4 seconds to 2.9, so he definitely had the pace there. Obviously, he had a 10th fastest lap. And look at the AI, none of them are anywhere near him. 6/10 off him. The next closest is Luthi in 3rd there, and obviously Baldassarri eventually dropping to 4th place then. But wow! If Marini started on the front row, he'd win so many of these races, but he just doesn't. He starts back in 6th, and it takes him about half of the race to actually get up into, 2nd place. And then by then I'm 4 seconds in front, like what happened this time. Obviously, I always know Marini's going to be coming at some point, so I like to build out as big of a gap as possible, and it seems to be working. Ever since Argentina, I've learnt the hard way that you sometimes just have to push and build out the gap and stop him from coming. Fernandez actually ended up 5th there. That's a pretty good result for Fernandez. Di Antonio in 7th, so nice to see Di Antonio doing a little bit better again. Where did Navarro end up? Navarro ended up 14th. I saw him battling with people like Lowe's throughout the race, but he was nowhere, absolutely nowhere in this race. So if we look at the championship, then I've got almost a 60-point lead ahead of Baldassarri now. Marini catching back up to Baldassarri. Obviously, Marini had 2 terrible races last time, and then they both had one at Catalunya. So Baldassarri pulled back quite a bit of points at Mugello, and then Marini's starting to pull them back in again. But we've got a really big lead in the championship now. To be honest, overall I've probably not been the fastest rider. It's just the other guys have not been consistent, and they've not been consistently quick throughout an entire weekend as well. Such as Marini, he can't qualify, but he can race really quick. But then he's not been able to catch me because he's starting too far behind. Di Antonio moves up to 7th in the championship, so that's nice to see. My 2 teammates in 6th and 7th, only a few points separating the pair of them as well. So in the constructors standings, we have a massive lead, almost 100 points, 99 points ahead of Liquid Moly Intact GP in 2nd. Obviously, Marini doing a little bit better in this race allows SkyVR46 to move back up into 3rd in the constructors. Perhaps they'll be setting their sights on 2nd as well, but Bezecchi doesn't pull the points in enough, I think, to catch them up. Federal Oil moves up a place ahead of Angel Nieto as well. So we'll head into Parc Fermé, then the career hub, and we'll see what we need to do between now and Assen. It's weird because I'm starting to win in more Moto3 type ways, where I'm pulling away at the front. But to be honest, AI do have the pace, it's just some of them don't, and then the ones that do don't start very well. It's so strange. In Moto3 it was always the same guys, they always started really well, they were behind you for the first lap and they dropped back. But then now it's Baldassarri always goes with you to start with, then he gets passed by everybody else behind him, like Marini and Luthi. But Marini just can't catch you up at the end. So then with yet another win we gained 11,550 reputation points, which brings us to 182,150. And credits we gained 6,028. I don't think it really matters where we finish, I think we just have a fixed race payment, no bonuses or anything like that. And then on the research data front, obviously we only got the 3 valid laps for the race simulation for some reason. I'm still not really sure why that happened. But anyway, we've got 6,800 on the engine now, 4,169 on the frame, and 831 on the ECU. But the ECU is now obviously going to be fully upgraded. We put the last upgrade on it, we've just got to wait for it to finish. So there's absolutely no notifications here, so we're just going to head straight into Assen, and I'll see you in free practice. So once again, like in Sachsenring, the first 2 free practice sessions are wet, so I'm just going to skip on to FP3. Obviously we've got the rest of the weekend is then dry after that, so we'll skip to FP3, I'll do the practice programs there, and then obviously we'll skip into qualifying and then the race. So now we're here in a nice dry Assen. So the first thing to do is the distance analysis. So we'll head out, medium, 4 laps of fuel, hopefully we'll get perfect once again. So as we come up towards the line then to finish the distance analysis, there we go, 37.8 on the last lap there, so we got perfect once again. It's pretty much impossible to not get perfect now. You deviate from the line and it does not drop at all. So it probably could do with another patch. Apparently I've got damage, but I'm sure I didn't touch anybody. I might have had a little bit of contact with someone when I went past them then maybe, but I didn't think I did. So the next thing to do is the race simulation. So we've got to do, hopefully we actually get to do 5 valid laps this time instead of it just going, no, you do 3. So we'll head out and hopefully it doesn't stop us. As we come up towards the line, then this time it's not done any glitch where it's taken me off the program early. So we completed it this time, then 5 valid laps, we'll get the full research data for this challenge. So then the last thing to do is the quick lap simulation. So I've put on the soft tyres, we'll put it down to 4 laps of fuel, and we'll head out. Hopefully we can try and, well, we should be able to achieve it. I didn't actually look what lap we've got to do. What lap have we got to do? We've got to do a 136.5, which is obviously perfectly fine because we've already done a 36.4. Through the last chicane then, coming up towards the line, I think we'll be able to beat the time without too many problems there. 36.2, so we didn't actually quite have that much underneath it, but anyway, we still did it anyway. So that's all the practice programs done, so we'll end this practice session and head straight into qualifying. So Thomas Luthi then in second place, almost 3 tenths down on me. Baldassarri a similar amount off, obviously 3.5 tenths, and then all the way back to almost 7 tenths ahead of Schrotter. Sam Lowe's managed to go 5th there, that's pretty good, and Jake Dixon in 8th, so a bit like in Jerez, the British resurgence in free practice here. But we'll head into qualifying now, and hopefully we can try and make it another pole. So here then in the garage now, for qualifying we'll put on a new set of soft tyres, put the fuel down to 4 laps, and out we go for a hot lap. So coming up towards the line then, to start our qualifying lap here at Assen. Obviously it's cloudy actually in qualifying, which I kind of neglected to notice. We've not, wow, that was a terrible exit to the first corner. So Schrotter is currently faster with a 36.6, which isn't too bad I suppose. Yeah, a lot of my braking points are probably going to be a little messed up because I'm just used to seeing certain parts and braking, although it is only cloudy weather, it's not like it's wet, is it? So it doesn't change things a massive amount. So we fire it out of Strubben then. What's the time going to be at the end of the first sector? 4 tenths off him, so pretty bad to be honest. I mean, we really did mess up the first corner, so maybe it won't be pole here. Through the Wien Schlang, onto the brakes, into the Ruskin hook, back on the power again, sliding it through. 2 tenths down, so we've taken 2 tenths out of Marcel Schotter's time here through the second valve. Firing it out again. Sam Lowe's is probably trying to stick with us here. Also, we have been pretty fast all season. He's just come out of the pits behind us, and he's having a pretty good weekend, so I'm sure he'll be hoping to follow me a little bit, but I don't think he'll be able to. Through the double right, the Duca Schlut. We're trying to get back on the power. Once again, the rear is sliding quite a bit. What's the gap going to be to Schrotter as we come through this section here, through the, that corner that I'm not even going to try and pronounce. 2 tenths still, so pretty similar between us all there. We're going to the Ram's hook, back on the power once again. We go towards the Gert-Tim chicane, hitting the brakes. Obviously you can gain a big amount of time here on the AI if you do it right, which we actually have done. I thought I'd gone in a little bit hot initially, so we fire it out up towards the line. And what's the time going to be? 36.0, so nearly 6 tenths underneath his time. So I think that's where I'll leave qualifying. We'll get out of Lowe's way here. And we'll head back to the pits, and hopefully that is good enough for a decent position. Maybe not pole. So then actually was good enough for pole, which is a bit surprising. Schrotter improved his time, so he was only about 3 tenths off us. Baldassarri and Della Porta doing the exact same time there, the 3rd and 4th, so it'll be interesting to see which order they start in. I'm guessing Baldassarri will be 3rd and Della Porta 4th, but I have seen it before where it'll say it one way on the qualifying times, and then they'll start in a different order, so that'll be interesting to keep an eye out for. Tom Luthi in 5th place there, and then Marini down in 6th. Will he be able to pose a threat to us? I mean, he's half a second nearly off Luthi ahead of him. So strange. They're all within 3 tenths of me, and then everybody else is at least 7 tenths off. So then we're down here on the grid, obviously looking at Marcel Schrotter in 2nd place. Baldassarri does keep his 3rd place actually, so it is consistent with what it said at the end of qualifying. So really the one I am looking out for obviously is Marini. In the last episode he didn't do particularly well, but it seems to be back to his normal ways where he starts off quite weak and then he definitely speeds up throughout the race, whether that's just because he looks after his tyre or whatever. I think he gets a bit mired in the pack, and that's probably his detriment. So if he qualified a bit better, he'd probably win more of the races. I think Argentina's quite a good example where he actually didn't get through until right on the last lap, but it did get in the win just because of how close we were. But if I was a couple seconds further up the road, he wouldn't have won that race. But obviously he managed to reel us in massively. He managed to reel us in massively at a couple of other tracks as well. So hopefully he can't do that here, but it would be nice, for the video, if he could make it a bit more of a close race anyway. So it'll be interesting to see if Schrotter can match us off the start a bit like how Baldassarri has in the past. But it'll be interesting to see also if he loses in the 2nd phase once again. Wait for the lights to go out, lights and away we go. Bit of a wheelie off the start, bit more of a wheelie. Try to bring the front end back down, a massive wheelie. We actually kept the lead that time. I think, to be honest, it's quicker to just ride the wheelie and let it sort of come down on its own than to lift and try and control it. because the wheelie doesn't seem out of control. So we've hit the front there. Luthi in second place now, so not sure where he started. I think he started fourth, didn't he? Yeah. Obviously, Baldassarre and him at the same time, that's what it was. So Luthi already up to second place. He's definitely... well, that's a flying start. We've ran really wide into Strubben, actually. That might allow Luthi to come underneath us, and it has. Luthi's got past us on the power, though. Are we going to get back past Luthi? Side by side. This could get nasty. Luthi's got the speed. Luthi's in front of us, but Marini, crucially, is already up into third place. And he is the guy to watch out for. We're going around the outside of Luthi, up the inside of Luthi. We're not going to get that one stopped, though. Luthi's going to come back at us. Yes, he is. So Luthi back up into the lead once again. Just a mistake at Strubben. Oh, what am I doing? Where am I going? I've got a penalty as well to contest with now. Marini comes around the outside, so Marini has now overtaken me, and we're down into third place. So this has been a horrible first lap for me. I mean, I got a pretty good start, but ever since Strubben, we've lost so much time. Obviously, losing 2 positions as well, and getting a penalty. It's never helpful. Trying to get the bike turn, trying to slide it. Marini using that outside curb there. I'm not going on that outside curb, but he actually seems to have got a bit more pace than me, and Luthi really has as well. Luthi's disappearing ahead. Into the chicane, we are closing up on Marini. We almost hit him there, actually. Through the chicane, on the power. We've got better drive than him. We're all over the back of Luthi. Not Luthi now, we're all over the back of Marini. We'll go to the left-hand side of him. Are we going to go around the outside? Yes, we are. So we hit second position once again. So Luthi up next. We've got to try and get that gap back down to him. So as we come to the end of the second lap, we hadn't really made many inroads on him, but he lost so much time to the chicane. And here we go, looking for a move on him, just like on Marini. Around the outside we go. That's quicker than our qualifying lap of 35.8. So we're now back up into the lead once again in this race on lap 3 of 6. We've actually gapped Marini by quite a bit, which is odd. So at the end of the third lap then, what is the gap to Luthi behind? 0.4 of a second. So we haven't gained on him much, but we are in winning contention right now. He's not close enough to the penalty to overthrow us. So as we start the penultimate lap now, 0.6 behind. Bo Benstein has gone down in his home Grand Prix. So he's going to be disappointed by that, but we've not shaken off Luthi. He's definitely sticking with us. I've just remembered about the fuel as well, because it was this track that happened last time, and I've got 1.6 laps of fuel left. I'm a bit wary of Assen and fuel burning. So starting the final lap then, we are in power mode 0, just for being careful. We got half a second to Luthi, we should be okay, but he could spring an attack right at the end. As we brake now for the chicane for the final time. Bit of a stoppy actually, bit of a slide from the front end as well. Through the last corner then, he's right behind us. We've actually got on the green a little bit there, but up towards the line. We're going to win here in Assen ahead of Tom Luthi in second. Pretty good race from Luthi there. So then, yes, we've beaten by just under 0.2 of a second with the penalty, of course. And look at the gaps. What's happened here? Because we were 4.1 seconds ahead of Marini. Marini dropped back. Then look at the others. Nagashima's 10 seconds behind, and well done to him for getting up to 4th, because I thought no one was anywhere near Baldassarre, but Baldassarre must have hit some serious trouble on the last lap and lost a few seconds to Nagashima behind. Lowe's in 6th as well, so very weird order. Roberts down in 9th as well. Navarro doing pretty well in 8th. Unfortunately for Schrotter, he didn't have the pace he had in qualifying. Started 2nd, of course, but he dropped down to 7th. Also, in the championship, it's now getting very, very close at the top. Luthi's definitely gaining back on Baldassarre and Marini. He's definitely not out of it. He's making sure that he is still in the hunt for the championship. Baldassarre and Marini are now equal on points, and they're only 5 in front of Luthi. So those 3 are really, really getting close. And we've got a pretty comfortable lead, almost 3 race wins worth, which is incredible to think about. Nagashima moves back ahead of Digi, obviously. He moved ahead of him with his win in Catalonia. Digi moved back ahead at Sachsenring, but he's moved back ahead once again. Fernandez moving up ahead of Remy Gardner as well. Obviously, Remy Gardner's 3rd place boosted him quite a bit in the championship temporarily. We now have over 100 points lead. Now we've got 103 points ahead of Liquimoli Intact GP. So obviously, I outscored Luthi by 5 points, but then obviously Digi Antonio, I think he got beaten by both of them, so made it so we only gained a net 4 on them instead of 5, so it doesn't really matter. Skyvr 46 solidifying themselves in that 3rd spot now. They're definitely going to try and catch Intact GP, but whether they can, I'm not too sure. So I'll head into Parc Fermé then and the Career Hub, and we'll end off the episode there. So we are starting to put a bit of authority down on this championship, mainly because our rivals aren't very consistent. Luthi had sort of not really been anywhere, but the last couple of races he's not been too bad. Obviously at Catalonia he gained pretty big points back on Marini and Baldassarre, and now he's pretty much in the hunt with those guys once again, because he hadn't really done much since Qatar. until Catalonia, and obviously he had a second place here as well. So then we gained 11,550 reputation points, which brings us up to 193,700. So we'll actually get over the 200,000 barrier in the next race, hopefully. Once again, we gained 6,028 credits. Obviously, that is our fixed salary, which gives us 231,318 credits. On the research data front then, now we have 7,635 on the engine, 4,957 on the frame, and 1,124 on the ECU. So we've got a couple of notifications. We've got one from the personal manager, so a new candidate available once again. Another Anita Perez. To be honest, I don't really need a better one than I've got right now, because we've not really struggled to find any contracts. Obviously, I already improved, which gives us a nice negotiation bonus. So we've got new candidates for both the chief engineer and data analyst. It's another non-person. So we've actually got well, a B plus here, an A, and then a really good electronics, not very good on the frame. Same on the aero, and actually a little bit better on the engine. So that might be worth looking into, but the frame is pretty bad. Then another one on here. Wow, quite bad on the engine, although not as bad as some of the others have been on the engine, although not as good as they've been on the frame as well. I suppose it depends what you need at the time. But now it's full up here, so I'm going to have a look at, well, they're all A's actually, or one's an A+, so I think we'll definitely keep that one. But it's really worth looking at some of these employees, because they're definitely going to help us out in MotoGP. So that's it for this episode then. I hope you have enjoyed that one. A little bit close racing there in Assen, obviously after I made my mistake. I had to carve my way back through the pack. Well, not really, I had to overtake two people, but Luthi definitely kept us honest in that race. I'm glad I didn't sit behind him for any longer than I did, because he sat right behind us for the entire race. I could not get away from him, and if I'd made a mistake he would have got straight through, so luckily I didn't. But like I said, I hope you did enjoy that one. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Hope you're all staying safe, and I shall see you in the next video.